This is Justin AMZN for Friday, April 23rd, 2021. I feel like Friday and Thursday were kind of opposite days. I mean, they we just totally retraced back up to this line, got back up into the same area here. We had this kind of breakdown, we had this kind of breakout. We had a little bit of an overshoot, had a little bit of a retracement, and then down into the blue line, came up from the blue line. I mean, it just looks like, this kind of just played out in reverse, like inverted head and shoulders, just, retracing back up. The only thing that was different was this little thing right into the close, which actually had a really nice move on the 3350 put and took out the entire value of the 3350 call into the close. That's why you don't want to hold your options right into the close, because they can just go against you. I mean, let me say it again. You don't want to hold the ones losing value right into the close. When you're up, just get out, take that profit. And if you are just kind of speculating, and this is a pure gamble here, where you think, okay, I'll just buy something, like buying for $10, it's most likely not going to do this. I've I can tell you it'll either go against you or it'll go flat. It rarely actually has this kind of a move where it 10x's. Actually, sorry, 100x's. This went from $10 to $1,000 in 25 minutes. So yeah, it's very rare for that to happen. It's amazing when it does. It's great when it has a really clean setup. This is one that you probably could have been playing both directions, because it was so bullish. I know this is right into resistance, um, and it should roll over, obviously. But if you were to, maybe spend half an hour on this and the other half an hour on it going bullish, now not with, this and having a stop, I mean, absolute zero in both directions right into the close, um, then you're increasing your chances of winning, and except in those cases where it goes sideways. Anyway, if we kind of step back a little bit earlier in the day, um, we put in a really pretty nice base all through here. We were trying to run up, and the 3350 call was just not moving. I really like on a Friday where we can end with the same option strike. So I had my eyes on 3350 all week. That it's like, okay, we should do something with this option on Friday, because I was coming in like 3375 on the call, 3325 on the put, and then I think it just on Thursday's video I showed that. So then Friday it's like, okay, we're going to end up doing something with the 3350 call and put, or one or the other. I didn't expect it to have this kind of move, but these are the two options that are the two, the call and the put for the same strike that I had up for the majority of the day, just to kind of see how are they moving. And while we're putting this base in, we just kept losing value on the put. And then we get this kind of, a couple little ticks in here, and then it starts to break down more. It's like, oh, this is starting to break out. Like, oh, we're getting above the high. And then we just went sideways here for like an hour. And this was a really great opportunity. Now, it would have been tough to buy for $100 risk. I mean, there were a couple candles in here that got smaller like that, but it had the potential to have a bigger move at this point. So if you can't get $100 risk, just move out. You can go out to a 3360 call and see if that'll have a little bit of a different, risk, a different candle range. But had you been buying this here and seeing the breakdown and seeing how these candles got really, really, really small, while these, weren't quite as small, but this was still nearing, we were nearing this resistance. It's like, okay, it just needs to push up a little bit more. We've been staying above the 5 all day. This should go bullish. Just get in. And you could have bought in here 9 or 950 with $100 risk, and held on for 8 hour, which would have been up to 1750, and that either one of those would have filled on this candle. And that was as it was really right as it was hitting the resistance here. Great place to get out. You didn't know it was going to continue to push up. We ended up having a high 3375 just above the high from Thursday. And then if it weren't for this move at the end of the day, the last 25 minutes, this actually would have looked pretty bullish, and it had the potential that it could close up here. Instead, we got a bit of more retracement. You can see clearly that bears were still coming in. And I really want to see a little bit more of a pullback going into earnings uh, this coming week. So we'll see if we can make any lower highs. I mean, we actually made a higher high and a higher low with this candle, or if we just go sideways. I really wanted to touch the 21. That's really where I wanted to get to. So it's a little bit lower. It's about a, let's see, where do we close? So it's about a 60-point drop from where we closed today to get to that point. Now the 21 is going to be moving up. 21 in the daily is going to be moving up as you get rid of some of these closes with the exponential moving average. It'll help this increase a little bit more. So maybe by the time we could get, well, if we get there in a day or two, it's not going to matter. It'll still be like a 50 to 60 point drop, but we'll see if we can get a little bit more of a pullback. We've been kind of alternating, so bearish, bullish, could be another bearish day. We've only been able to string together 2 bearish candles in a row lately. The last time we had more than that was over here as we were really selling off, and this is where a lot of bulls really came in on this candle. And then we've been able to string together more bullish candles, but through here it's been just 2 in either direction. So if we do get a bullish day, then I would expect a bearish day, and if we get a bearish day, then I don't know. Guess we'll see. But there were just some opportunities to be buying at this base, buying at this kind of a triangle here, getting in before the breakout. I mean, you could have even been getting in as this made kind of relative lows, but maybe doing it with a different strike. At that point, I wouldn't have been looking at the 33.50 put and the 33.50 call. I would have been looking at something that, from right here, okay, what could it do? It's a few dollars in the money for 33.60, 33.65, 33.70 would probably be a good one, that if it started to have a nice move, then, see what that's going to do. Oh, you know what? I just realized this is disconnected and it's not going to load. Can I even go back? Nope, I think I'm stuck. So I'm going to call it quits for this video because I'm going to have to close down Toss to get everything reconnected, and I'll especially do that for Monday. But here it is late on a Sunday night, and I'm doing the video because I didn't get to it early in the weekend, and at some point the program disconnected. So sorry about that. I didn't realize that before I started it, but hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.